Established in 2006, the African Rural University, ARU, is the first all-women's rural university in Chebale district and Uganda as a whole. As an institution of higher learning, ARU deals with strategic developmental issues that are fitting in the rural communities and with a mission to provide transformational education to create effective change agents within an African context. ARU focuses on promoting rural development based on the community visionary approach and using trained students as effective change makers to transform the rural communities. The university trains young women visionary leaders to become professionals in the rural transformation. The URDT realizes that many Ugandans get trained in various disciplines, get employed, and only learn to do development work while at a job, but are not willing to work in the rural areas. This is the reason the Uganda Rural Development and Training developed a teaching curriculum that allows students to do practical work in the villages.
So the African Rural University has developed a discipline called Technologies for Rural Transformation. And the people who are trained in that discipline, we say they become professionals. Why professionals? Because to be a professional, you must have knowledge, skills, and the attitude for it, but most fundamentally the kind of training that turns you into a professional.
And they practice what we call a back home project, the two-generation approach, whereby they don't only learn, but they also practice some projects, and they share those projects with their parents. So the training in URDT brings the parents together with their children, and then they vision and they choose what type of project they can implement in their home.
At the university, the students take up a full training of 8 semesters, which adds up to 4 academic years to become real professionals for rural transformation. Jacqueline Nakelo, the Secretary of African Rural University, ARU, explains.
Now, when a student enters African Rural University, in the first semester, right away they start to train. You know, we train theory with practice. And the practice takes 40% of the full training in all the courses. So one of our fundamental courses is called Technologies for Creating. And a student learns how to create as an individual, creating based on what she wants in life. Experiment with it before she goes to see how creation or working with a vision at a family level or at a community level or at an association level works.
And before they join the community, each of the students is first given a plot on which to practice gardening and learn different agronomic practices on various crops, diseases, and types of soils for the crops. During the third year, students are then placed strategically in volunteer homes that seek to host them for 1 full month as residents to teach and transform the household.
This student works for 1 full month, resident, living, eating, sharing, learning, and teaching the community members. And they start from the simple question, what do you want in life? At the family level, at a community level, and therefore they have enabled a number of communities, villages actually, to evolve a village vision.
While here, the students also help the community to lay strategies that ensure that their aspirations are realized. An action plan is then set together with the community and then followed with the implementation of the plan.
Action planning now helps the people in the community to see what type of action can be taken in order of priority. If it is spring protection, what material do they need? What resources do they need? What can they be able to do together with the student? Then the students work together with the community to achieve whatever the communities have accepted.
Our students' monitors are then sent out to monitor progress of the practical projects done by students in the villages for the year 2013. But what was the real purpose for the monitoring exercise?
The main reason why we were carrying out monitoring is to see are the projects that we initiated, we as our students or as students of African Rural University last year, are they still being sustained by the community members? If they are being sustained, how can we help, we as an institution, we as students with knowledge, how can we help these people to gain what they really want in the proper way? Because we found out that some people needed technical advice, for example, in tomato growing, in passion fruit growing, in beekeeping. Others needed some technical advice in cake making or cake baking. So
the monitoring was done both at family and group levels, and successful stories were registered. Back home projects are doing well for the families, and in the group, members are committed and now share their findings.
The parents of URDT Girls School, in whichever community they are like light, a lamp to everyone that they would like to see the people, members of the community learn from there. I will cite one example of a parent whom we visited in Imparting. She is a model parent. She has a very good compound, a very good house with a good plantation of coffee, nice looking bananas, that all the parents and non-parents of URDT Girls School come to learn from there.
This group is progressing to the extent that the vision they had by the time the students were deployed in the village, they're already accomplishing the vision. For example, they wanted 50 members, and currently, by the time we went for the monitoring exercise, there were already 50 members. They wanted an executive of 9 people, and by the time we went for the monitoring, there were already 9 executive members.
And I found out that people in the villages, they are actually hardworking and they embrace development. We found there is one village that is Kwentomi village in Rucheti sub-county. It was found out that in terms of gender, women were not carrying out community development, especially on cleaning roads and shallow wells. But after our sensitization, they are doing it, meaning they are catching up with the system.
We left when they had started on a few projects like apiary, but when we went back, they have increased on the number of beehives, and other projects that like fruit growing, they have increased, and tree planting, and the circles, that is credit and savings.
At this level of practical work during the 4th academic year, a student is considered ready to live in such a rural community in the village for 1 whole year, working comfortably. But what does this mean to the students?
Now remember, in the 1 month, they are working with a village of about 400, 500 people. So when they are in the 4th year, they are at parish level. They are working with more than about 3 to 4 villages. And they do evolve this whole process. So by the time a student completes African Rural University, they have 4 years of experience of evolving projects, mobilizing people, mobilizing resources, how to write proposals, how to undertake development, even where there is no development at all.
I've also gained skills in report writing, because whenever we could come back from the field, we could sit and write down whatever we have gathered from there. Then after we produced a composite report.
Some of the host households in the local community now testify that they have actually benefited.
Bakashanga tutari kurungi turukora ibintu bitari kugenda ku njyo misho cyonka turukuye bisaho nuko tsyo cyonka tarukuye bisaho kurungi tutari kurakorana nongi atabicaba kutwizire twayikara nabo batana kwireka gukora turi kwiyenduramo ibitwantukora turukubasa kugira ngo turime ibyo kurya ibyo turukubasa kuryaho ibyo turukubasa kugira ngo babasa kutuna tuburema kasenge icyo cyaba cyuma batwegesa kugira ngo tubase kulima omuvera urundi sho kulimira ahantu hace tukiyamba byo kulibira base kutuyamba tukaryaho nk'emboga atari kugira ngo tulimira ahantu ahango twabyara hemboga bishoba twireka twabyara hemboga ateze shaha imboga tuzine nituri kuryaho
tandika turi ba membe 13 ubwa hati turi ba memba 45. Target yitu ekaba ari yo kwisa ba members 50. Kale egroup ejo ebikozirwemu tusobwire kuba na saving and credit eri kwisa miliyoni 2 n'ekyeka, kandi twine nursery bed eri mu karitusi, twine omwani, coffee hamwe na passion fruit. Hatiya nindeeba nk'oku twabire turi tikwe tukyali, hati tweyongizeho obukugu. Nindeeba ngu hatiya akasente twetaaga akasente nitukiha mu gurupu yitu kasobora kutushomeseza abaana bitu.
But to ensure that this rural transformation is achieved, the students are trained in what is known as holistic curriculum that introduces them to entrepreneurial skills, agriculture skills, appropriate skills, and how to manage civil society organizations, among others.
During the process, the students are expected to document daily activities which they do in the field, and then they produce a report, and that's the report which we started seeing, this one. Then now, the supervisor keeps on visiting those students at least once a week until they finish the project for that 1 month.
The families have moved from subsistence to commercial agriculture. You would see change in health, you would see change in environment. But very, very importantly, when our students go to stay with the families, the girls there in those families look at our students as role models.
We know that knowledge is necessary for development. We know that an informed population is responsible for self-growth, and therefore universities are extremely important in the development of society. Therefore, ARU is beginning to do this, and my hope is that in the next many years to come, you will see the impact of ARU in Kibale district, in Kagadi area, which will become a city, and indeed you will see how much it has transformed society. So I'm extremely positive about it.
The university has also registered tremendous achievements in training professions for rural transformation. And ARU now believe that this is the only way to go if Uganda is to realize total transformation for development.
To show to the world how development can be done using the visionary approach to development by having working in concentrated communities, a village. The homes where the girls from the girls' school come from, they pick children from marginalized households. But within 3 years, because I went to do the baseline, I went back to do evaluation in those homes. Within a period of 3 years, you see total transformation in that home. And they are no longer part of the absolute poor, they are ready to take off. So if we introduce this at a higher level, I think it will be very easy for Uganda to learn from our experiment of what it means to use the visionary approach, especially with the Vision 2040. You know, how can a vision be achieved from bottom up?